the MCG, Hawthorn and Essendon. Campbell drifting across. Watson gets the opening kick though, down towards half forward. Lucas back at centre half forward. Gumbleton started there last week. Smith, Ladson. Now Bateman, deep in his own defensive area. Risky kick, a very risky kick. Down goes Welsh, lurking behind now, a chance. Nash got it across, looking for Watson. With Johnson, back to Watson. And he's marked about 45 metres out. Joe Watson, 3 early touches.
Well, he started on fire. And Dennis, it was the kick of Bateman coming across that was just risky. A 55-metre carry, and early on in the game, very, very risky. Good alertness by the Bombers.
And Lloyd could have almost got a free up ahead. Joe Watson then, very good last week. Steps to the 50. Kick is on its way. Has it got the carry right on the line? Crowd gets a fingertip to it.
He's in good form though, Watson. Very, very good form. He's leading loose ball, hard ball, tackles. Doing it just about all at the moment.
We'd expect a Watson to star on a day like today with this build-up, wouldn't you?
Oh, wouldn't you ever?
Brown out wide to Saul, and it has a big feeling about this match, doesn't it? The crowd has grown a lot since the match. The players ran onto the field 5 minutes ago. Saul's kick inboard again to Mitchell.
Got the loose
to Crawford, and Crawford's chip okay. Now Birchall. You heard the umpire. You went off the line, so play on. Crawford snagged. And Winderlick's won the free kick. Uses Fletcher, who'll probably bomb, and he does.
He certainly does. Long down towards full forward. Lloyd hit him in the face. It's going to be a Hawthorn free kick.
Well, the Hawks got to be careful because Fletcher started on the wing at the opening bounce. He's just playing loose. He hasn't got an opponent. Looks like Lewis could be loose for the Hawks.
Birchall got it from Brown. Comes back towards the middle. Gillum running up the ground. Virtually squares it. Ladson, unkind bounce, has to go back and find it. Goes with the left boot down towards half forward. Lewis, about 75 metres from goal. Franklin. Franklin, as I said earlier, 9 last time these sides met on this ground.
Well, Jay Nash is actually pointing at the moment. Just have a look at this. There's a free kick against Lucas. But it was Jay Nash. He realised that Lewis was free. He went to him, but he's pointing at his teammates thinking, who's got Lewis?
No easy kick, this one, for a left footer. It will work left to right. Virtually gives the goals away, trying to bend it back. Out of bounds on the full.
Well, didn't play last week, Buddy Franklin. He had a temperature of 40. They held a flight for him on the Sunday morning to go to Tasmania. And Dennis, but he still didn't come up. His temperature was still in the around 39. They didn't want to risk him.
Fletcher to play on.
He was hotter back in round 6, I was going to say, Bruce.
He was white hot, wasn't he? So Fletcher's rebound. Hill couldn't quite, and Mitchell's taken an easy one to Campbell. Back to Mitchell. Mitchell not quite taking his man on and then coughing it up. A disappointing result. Stanton on the back move to Watson, and then Watson's kick to Hill is a beauty, and Hill was clever.
Beautiful.
And then Winderlick gets on the end of it from Lovett. Back to Hill. This will be some sort of goal if he can drill it, but he doesn't. And he just squeezes home a point. But I tell you what, the foreplay was pretty good, I can tell you that.
Have a look at this. Oh, that is beautiful, beautiful ruck work. Sometimes there's an advantage in not taking the mark. Just get it onto your teammate that's thinking about others before yourself.
Sometimes when the foreplay is great, it doesn't end well. Here's Johnson. Goes long down towards full forward. Hit the post. Well, the Bombers looking very sharp.
Well, they look more fluent when they're going inside. They've got the numbers back when the Hawks are going forward, and they're coming into an open forward line. I suggest Alistair Clarkson sorts it out, mans up Fletcher, and makes a bit harder for the Bombers down forward.
Here's Lewis. Got it from Guerra. Goes towards half forward. Well taken by Hodge. Releases Campbell inside the forward 50. Clever kick. Well, Franklin did the hard stuff. Cocked an errant boot in the head. And the ball spills out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
Well, Ryder, and you called that beautifully then, Dennis. I think Buddy might have just caught one then. Just after the action. Just a slap on the arm, but it's just here. Oh, no, just a push.
That was a hand, not a boot.
Stay down there, he said.
No wonder I have trouble putting my socks on. Watson gets it across to Stanton. Swings it out wide. Going back is Johnson being held. He'll get the free.
Started brightly, hasn't he, Johnson, like a couple of his teammates. Stanton running hard. Poor kick, Ladson cuts it off. Squares it to Crawford. And then Crawford on the left to Lewis, who's been prominent early.
Well, he was the loose. Nash is trying to go with him, but hasn't got the motor at the moment.
Vandenberg, who played against the Bombers early in the year, has only played since then last week, so been a frustrating season for the captain. He's kicked to the pocket, and not really to anyone's advantage. Ruffhead had half a chance. Johns gets it from Michael. The switch on, Stanton getting a fair bit of the footy.
Over the top, Peveril, who started last week so well. Ambitious hand pass, effective enough. Johnson, Watson, been everywhere. Feeds it back. Slattery, all the time in the world. Now Stanton, and Slattery juggles it.
Stanton and Watson have had 13 out of 27 of Essendon's possessions. Plenty of it early on.
Lloyd.
No doubt Mark Johnson's been told to play up the ground on Birchall too. Get him out of that danger zone in defensive 50. Keep it open for Lloyd, McVeigh and Lucas working inside that forward 50.
Lovett goes short. Half volley taken by Nash. Nash goes down towards left half forward. A very clever kick. Peveril getting in behind the defence. Thought about going to Johnson. Didn't go off the line.
McPhee snuck down too.
Hand pass comes across to Lloyd meantime to the pocket, and the mark is held down there by Welsh. Hard against the boundary line.
I've seen him do this a bit, go forward and cause a lot of headaches because they've got to man up Lucas, they've got to man up Lloyd. He gets the fourth defender and he's almost a little bit better than that.
He's kicked goals in 6 of the 12 matches he's played this year, and there's another miss. So you just wonder at the end of the day whether this is going to hurt the Bombers. Franklin did miss one at the other end. Is that rain coming down too? It's looking pretty dark as Guerra to bring it in. So 4 consecutive behinds for Essendon. Ladson in the pocket, and he goes down the line. McVeigh and Saul. It was looked out, but Saul kept going. McVeigh was doing some boundary umpiring. Hodge did very well to keep Slattery out of the contest, and then Bateman got it to Crawford, who ducks and weaves and then delivers to Campbell, who, well, could have run on, decided not to. He's had a lot of the football, Campbell, hasn't he?
Well, he's too been given a job to take Hill into the dangerous defence for Hill and into attack for the Hawks. Ball very close to the boundary line. Correct decision. Got to be fully over. Saw Dennis on Friday night get a little bit itchy about a couple of toes being over the line.
Don't start again. Don't make me toey.
He's kicked 5-2 from set shots this year, Campbell. Tough kick. Almost as tough as Franklin's, and he's missed as well. But it hasn't got the distance and belted through. So the Hawks are on the board in this big Sunday afternoon clash, where a spot in the finals is, you would reckon, a pretty big prize to be had.
Ryder drifting back. Left half back. Good crowd. As we've said, so much to play for. Lovett Murray. That draw on Friday night really has changed the complexion of the table. Lovett Murray, Wendelek, still the defensive side of the wing. Waiting for our first goal. Comes back. Here's Fletcher. Comes across the ground. Good looking kick. McPhee going past his Johns. Used him as a decoy. Goes short towards the middle. Getting hands to it with Stanton. Got it back from Welsh. Well, that was a bad hand pass intended for Watson. Bounces obligingly though for Lucas. Lovett. Now Hill. Nobody near him. And he's got support. McPhee didn't run hard enough. Hill kicks inside the forward 50, bounces down towards the pocket. Johnson tried to work his man off the ball. Watson gets away. Getting back Ladson, sensing the danger. Well, Watson has been on fire. Just looking at his stats so far, 8 possessions for Jobe Watson.
Rain getting heavier. Birchall on the end of Mitchell. And again, Campbell is running off Hill, isn't he? And really giving him something to work. Now Young is a very long kick, and he caresses that to fall forward. Good job, Fletcher. Front spot. Behind him was Gillam.
Got the loose now.
Lovett Murray to Lucas, and we saw a lot of Lucas down back, didn't we, against the Crows? He got 20-odd possessions last week and didn't have a shot for goal. There's a bloke who's kicked 50 this season and one of the favourites for the Coleman medal.
And the good thing about that, they got the 4 points too, Bruce, without his influence up forward.
Free to Peverill coming from Watson.
Hands off! Hands off! Go back around your mark. Don't try and dive for a 50.
You heard the telling Damien to cut the theatrics out.
Coming from Ray Chamberlain too.
He'd be a good method actor, I reckon. Don't you alongside Robert De Niro, Peverill?
Free kick.
Mate, I was watching it. He wasn't holding it. Straight not down here. Upfield, the greatest advantage.
Well, there you go. So against the captain, Lloyd. Now, this is a big turnaround.
That's 2 free kicks now inside 50.
Well, that's cost his team big time. So Bateman.
Short one. And Young's away. Only 3 Hawks have taken more marks than Young. Goes inside the forward 50. Franklin got a hand to it. Recovers well. Very agile. Well, Watson almost stuck the tackle. Chance for Mitchell inside the 50, trying to pinpoint it. And Michael, who was in very good form last week, gets a fist and knocks it out of bounds. Kevin Sheedy. In a most interesting situation. Counting down the weekends towards the finals and a new start perhaps. Maybe at this ground.
2 hands, then a grab on the arm.
What's happening? Chamberlain.
No, you stay there because he's kicking into a swirly wind. 2 hands and then 1 on the arm. You can't grab him. Run with, touch and feel, but don't grab him.
He's umpiring. He's doing Ricky's job. He's doing everything down there. Ray Chamberlain. Swirling breeze.
Yep.
Maybe he should go across to the man kicking at goal and suggest he starts at the left-hand goal post. Well, as it turns out, would have been very good advice. Lewis misses to the right.
Well, Ray's given them the heads up, didn't take it.
Tell you what, if Darren Goldspring doesn't watch out, he's going to lose his mantle.
He's lost it. Ray's got it.
Well, terrible kick by Fletcher. Mitchell, who's been very good. That's not such a good kick either. And then Lewis caught up by Lovett Murray and the ball up.
Couple of kicks now that have gone in via Mitchell. Just trying to pin par bullets in conditions like this. Pretty hard to take a slippery football when it's coming in at knee level. Just put them out in front and let the player run onto them.
Oh, Hilly, 2 arms.
These free kicks in the ruck.
So the advantage, Hill winning the free kick, and then Watson got it to Stanton, and now Lovett in a race with Brown, and he did brilliantly. Well, he bounced it, he does, he has to stop, and then gets into all sorts of strife. And then McPhee has to search for it. Lovett again. Does he win a free? No. Ball to be won, and the Hawks get it through Crow.
Dashes away from half-back, decides to touch it down. Good policy. Just got the hand pass off in time. This is Mitchell, been busy across half-back, feeds it forward. Dixon, now Sewell, goes towards half-forward. McGlynn coming across on the angle, about 70 metres from home. And the rain continues to tumble down. Kicks towards the 50, but very wide. Gillam tracks it out there, and it trickles across the line.
Probably got to change their game plans now, both sides. Instead of trying to pinpoint those targets, get the ball in long, make sure you got the players at ground level. To be front and square, got to go back to the old traditional footy.
Mitchell again, the base of the pack. These conditions will favour him. Short one comes in from McLean. All Essendon at the back. McPhee comes away, goes for distance, but can't kick it over 2 Hawks, one of whom Roughhead takes the mark, goes to the pocket. Dixon. Benny Dixon
left full forward.
Well, another pass that went in there to Buddy Franklin by McGlynn. Another bullet. Just put him out in front. Be a tough kick from this pocket too. As Ray Chamberlain told us, very swirly breeze down there.
Ricky might lose his job if Ray keeps that up.
Indeed.
So Ben Dixon, 6-6 from set shots. This is no gimme, this one. Normally pretty good around goal. Oh, we got him. This is out of bounds on the full in the opposite pocket. No, Robert Murray goes back and takes the mark.
Short to Fletcher.
Important kick, this one.
Oh,
Not a good one.
Saul was at the back.
High contact. So Pepperell to get the free kick. Bombers had it anyway.
a lot of free kicks, Brad. 8 in the first 15 minutes.
Love it. Murray got it from Pepperell and then kicks to Hill. We got rid of Ladson. It was a bit of David and Goliath there. And then Hill inside the 50. Not a great kick. Smith goes to ground and conceding Crawford. Well, 6-2 at the moment. That's not goals, that's points. As Bateman got it quickly from Crawford in the back pocket.
Sounds like the first set. Up was Birchall, finds it on the ground, then lost it. Monfrey's pushed in the back, surely. And our man Angus will get the free kick.
The late inclusion for Gumbleton, probably good too in these conditions. Smaller frame, nimble player.
Told to play on. I would say that was the overriding factor in his coming in, regardless of what they say. Crow takes the juggling mark.
Silly.
50.
Keep the knee out of it.
So Matthew Lloyd incurring
Step away from him, don't try and trip him up.
a few problems with the umpires.
That's the second one now.
Yeah.
Crow's on top of him. This is just silly. Not much in it, but silly.
Only provocative. Well, where's that kick going? It got to Lewis just in the nick of time. He spots Franklin. Franklin was pushed in the side, I fancy. Brad one in the back. Ryder may have got away with one. Monfrey's low and hard. And aided by that 50 he gave away, Lloyd finds himself on the wing taking a mark.
Well, the biggest influence on the game, Ray Chamberlain, giving away 5 of the 8 free kicks so far, Dennis.
Well, it's been near him.
Lloyd's kick not good. He's had a shaky start, Lloyd. Mitchell. So Lewis, who's been very good early, 6th disposal. Bateman coming off the ground.
Got no one to come on though.
Guerra now off the pine to take his place. And Lewis may have to use Guerra. He does. And then Guerra's going to go to Ladson. Oh, John should have done better. He really could have taken the mark. And then Ladson bombs it high. Fletcher doing very well. Front spot. Ramanauskas.
Lewis and Lovett, they're going at it.
It's on the centre wing. They're having a real crack at it as Slattery gets the footy. He's in a bit of strife. Slattery goes back to McPhee. And then McPhee squeezes. Not a great kick. Taylor and Mitchell. So a lot of pressure out there today. Birchall to Young to Guerra. Normally a good kick. Lace out to Buddy.
Well, while that was going on, there's a bit of a dust-up between Lovett and Lewis on the wing. Here we saw it here. Kept going after this. The problem is when you wrestle and fight, you're out of breath for the next 5 minutes, so they probably won't get a touch for the next couple.
Hasn't been all that accurate this season from set shots, Franklin. And he's missed 2 today. One that was tough, but that one he really should have delivered. So going, there's Lovett, Murray and Lewis. So is interesting.
I don't know who I'd have my money on that one. I would have my money on any of them, but
Glad you said that. Gillen goes short and Franklin gets another chance. Well, I'm not sure the runner should be in there trying to prize them apart. Whose runner was it?
I think it was the Hawks runner.
Well, he's got no place being there.
Oh, I hope it was the Essendon runner, because we've got a microphone on Joe Macedo. We might have got a...
No, if you're thinking television, and you're a network man, we hope it was Joe. Franklin comes in, and we've waited a while. The opening goal with under 4 minutes to go to quarter time.
Well, I didn't think it was going to come, that first goal. The first half of the quarter was just almost an arm wrestle, but the Hawks, they kept coming in, and eventually they're going to have a shot on goal, which they're going to make. Buddy Franklin just kept presenting, and Paddy Ryder's going to have to be on his game today, because they're going to go to him just on every occasion. He kicked 9 against them last time. He's fresh. He didn't play last week. He's the real danger man.
Kicked 9-2 against the Bombers last time, but he's had 3 shots for goal in this opening term. The inside 50s, Hawthorn dominating after Essendon, I reckon, had the most of it very early. They had the first few scores in the match. Hill, well, he's looking for a free kick, and in doing so, sort of dropped his bundle for a moment as Smith goes to full forward. Roughhead, Michael in trouble, run down. Lovett Murray, who's had a busy first quarter. Roughhead tries to take Michael on. Dixon works it back. Young, bit of a chance. Not when it's smothered by Lovett Murray. And now Dixon, handball to Crawford in the pocket. Centering ball. Roughhead and Lewis and Johns. Well, Johns didn't do all that well there either. And then Roughhead goes to ground, and the handball snared. And Monfries to Hill, to Monfries, to the boundary umpire.
Breezy football.
Johns is playing like a non-confident footballer at the moment. He's just got to back himself in, go both hands, go the mark.
Better player with hair. It's thrown in. Hill knocked it down, came back to him. There's going to be a free kick. I think it might go to McGlynn.
Show more care when he sends over the footy. Yep, Steve.
A lot of space too in the forward 50.
Out comes Franklin. He's got the football. So Ryder being put through the hoop at the moment.
Bit lazy there by the Bomber defenders too, not to fill in that space. They all huddled, and no one had the smarts to actually get off their opponent and just fill in the holes. And Buddy Franklin had too much space to work into. He could have a very, very big afternoon if Paddy Ryder doesn't get any help. Fletcher's got to be right beside him. He's got to be the 2-on-1 player.
18 possessions last time they played for 9-2. He's kicked his second goal now.
Bit more going on too. Just down a little bit of niggle in this game. But Franklin, what he needs to do is keep presenting, and I don't think there's a man on the Essendon side that can stop him. But if Fletcher's going to play loose, he's got to get into the space, and he's got to predominantly watch where Buddy and Roughhead go, and he's got to cut that lead off.
'51 goals for the year. What about the man who's kicked 50 for the Bombers, Scott Lucas, Ricky?
Yeah, just a slight injury concern with Scotty Lucas. He came off a few minutes back to get his right quad worked on, so they've had to move Laycock to centre half forward.
There was some doubt about Lucas coming in, so that's not a good sign for the Bombers. 4 marks inside 50 for Franklin, and they had the last 7 inside 50s, about to make it 8, the Hawks. Lewis goes to full forward. Boyle, almost, he's got a free. Well, this last couple of minutes has been disastrous for the Bombers.
I have a theory about the loose man in defence. The loose man in defence, I think sides get tricked into that when they're coming out, that's where the player is more important. The loose man in defence, when the ball's going in, that's where they've got to do their job. They've got to be the third man up, not the link-up player coming out. And I reckon at the moment, Fletcher's more worried about the footy when Essendon have got it than when they don't.
Well, the Hawks got a dozen goals between Boyle and Franklin the last time they played the Bombers. It was 9-3, and Boyle has made it a 3rd goal here.
Whoa.
Tell you what, Ox, they've done some damage late here, the Hawks.
They have.
Remember the Crows did that to the Bombers last week at Telstra Dome in the last few minutes of the first quarter.
All right, Hill coming off now. He's just about gone for the whole quarter. So Laycock into the centre, but the Hawks They're winning it out of the centre at the moment. Bombers have to get this centre clearance away.
That is remarkable, Bruce, thinking back to last week. Now Adelaide got those, 3 late goals in about 2 minutes just before quarter time and worked their way back into the game against Essendon. This time a team has pulled away. Hawks by 15 after the first goal took forever. Laycock over the back of Campbell.
Got him in the face, on the full now or 50.
By Chamberlain, who didn't award that last free kick in the pocket to Boyle. Smith comes away, kicks inside the 50. Boyle once more.
What a luxury to get him back into the side, Dennis.
And Boyle just goes close to the boundary, and Dixon. Well, they're putting on a clinic as far as attacking goes right here.
The last 3 centre clearances they've got, that's where it started. They're going inside that quick. That doesn't matter who's in defence for the Bombers. They're just getting outplayed at the moment.
So Dixon, sharp angle, but not beyond him. Better from this side.
Wow.
Threads the needle.
Pace is the problem at the moment for the Bombers. The Hawks just look like they're a little bit quicker. There's the free kick. Gee, not much in that, but technically it's there. Courtney Johns is not going to be able to go with Ben Dixon, and that's the problem also in defence, that they just look a little bit slow for the speedy leading Hawks forwards.
Great kick by Dixon. Oh, if only I could be out there, I reckon he's saying right now. Don't they need him? They've kicked 4 goals with 10 kicks, Hawthorn, and the Bombers haven't had a kick in that time.
Yeah, they've got to get this clearance, Bruce. It becomes very, very important here.
They're in damage control, aren't they? They actually need a goal. Now, Laycock goes early again. No free kick. Mitchell having a huge first quarter. So yet another clearance. Fletcher, clever enough. Now, Monfries and Smith. That's a ridiculous decision.
That's the worst decision of the year, Bruce.
Smith gets a lucky free kick.
Wow.
He knocks it out. That is
terrible.
That's a man with a whistle who's gone crazy. Here's Mitchell through the centre towards full forward. Poor kick, but it eluded Fletcher. Roughhead couldn't quite. Laycock, he's in trouble. They've got the jitters. They need to rush it over, and they do. Not sure if they're more nervous about the bloke with the whistle or the Hawks right now.
I reckon Fletcher's just saying to Laycock, son, you've just come on. I reckon if you go down 2 hands, you've got a better chance of picking it up.
Well, what a finish by the Hawks. They'll be walking on water as they go into their huddle. And the Bombers will be dragging their feet. It's 28-6.
Get connected with Harvey Norman and Telstra. For a limited time only, connect to any 24-month Telstra phone plan on the NextG network and receive this bonus Canon digital camera valued at over $300. Nokia, now on NextG. Pay $0 up front on an $80 Telstra phone plan and get your bonus Canon digital camera. That's right, connect to any 24-month Telstra phone plan and get a bonus digital camera. And remember, we can print your photos direct from your mobile phone. Get connected now at your Telstra dealer, Harvey Norman, the mobile phone specialist.
How about taking a break in the real Australia? The Australia where even the sun and the sea get together at the end of the day. And where it's not just the winemakers who have a great sense of balance. Perth and the Margaret River region are the real thing. And right now you can spend 5 days there with all flights, car hire and accommodation from just $699 per person. Perth and Margaret River. Book today with Discover West Holidays.
Right, Money, we're off. We'll see you at the party.
Yeah, no worries, fellas.
Bye.
I'll see you there.
Clever, fellas. Very clever.
I like a bloke who's man enough to wear pink. Come meet my friends.
Sure. Cheers for the fashion tip, fellas.
Classic.
Ready to run.
Boom, 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 boom.
Excuse me.
I'm not happy. I'm sick of that department stealing my budget.
Don't mind them.
That company down the road is stealing our
Excuse me.
customers.
Why don't we just sort this out on the treadmill?
Treadmill.
On the treadmill.
To the treadmill.
If you're looking for a great team building day and a way to raise money for the Murdoch Children's Research Institute, go to thelap.com.au and join the race to save children's lives today.
We've always believed some people were born to work at St George because it takes a special kind of person to work for us. The type of person that believes customer service actually means looking after people.
Thanks so much for sorting that out, Steve.
Not a problem. Anything else I can help you with?
So come on in and discover the St George difference for yourself. St George. Good with people, good with money.
You really shouldn't have to put up with a tired old kitchen. It's amazing how easily these flat packs kitchens come together.
They're a very, very affordable product. Enables the customer to be able to create their own kitchen.
Straight line kitchen from $1,716. Misty sink mixer, $46. Stainless steel sink, $139.
I'd rather spend more time in this kitchen than my old kitchen any day.
They're very easy to assemble. You don't need to be a genius.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Live 8:30 Mondays. Settle onto the couch with Gerard, Mike and Wolsey as they kickstart the footy week with uncompromising analysis of the latest news, results and opinions. On the couch. Live Monday, Fox Sports 1.
Football. It's back this August with the English Premier League and every game of the Hyundai A-League. That's this August on Fox Sports.
Buddy got the goals rolling and they came quick and fast at the end, didn't they, for the Hawks? Just the first time since the semi-final of 2004 that the Bombers haven't kicked a goal in the opening term. That's a long time back. So 4-4 to 6 points. Joe Masiti wide up the Essendon run. And let's have a little eavesdrop and see what messages he was carrying in the opening term.
Bush, he wants you to play the square, not Jono. All right, so you go to the square now. Tell Jono too. Nash, when you get a chance, you're coming for a rest on the bench, all right, mate? All right, one last effort, all right, mate? Get it and go. Now play forward. Go forward, all right? Get us a goal, Huey. Get us a goal. You're working, Gussie.
And Tim Watson, I reckon the message might have changed late in that term because it unravelled for the Bombers.
In the end, they were just trying to fill some holes and just try and get on top of the midfield players. What they're not doing at the moment, they're not getting any real run and penetration from half back. Hawthorn are quite prepared to let them go wide, but they're choking the midfield. And what they have to do is they've got to try and get the ball in the hands of Winderlick and Nash and Stanton and even McVeigh, guys who can cut the lines and open up the game.
Let's go down to you, Rick. Now, Lucas did come back on late in that term. What's his situation?
Yeah, I spoke to the Essendon officials at quarter time. They said he's just complaining of a little bit of tightness in his quad. He didn't train much during the week because of knee soreness. He's actually going to start at centre-half back, so he looks to be okay. And at all quarter time, too, only two players changed their boots. Taylor and Campbell, the Hawks ruckman, went into the long stops. But the good news is the dark clouds are gone and the sun's starting to poke through.
Very good news for you. Thanks, Rick. Start of the second term Sunday football. Bombers are goalless. Hawthorn's 4 coming in the last 5 minutes of the opening term. Up very high, Laycock. Down to McVeigh, hasn't seen a lot of it to half forward. Johnson appeared to have it, then lost it. Birchall slips it away. Bateman kicks beyond the wing towards half forward. Lovett Murray got the half volley sweetly back across the wing. Bateman running out of space, hooks it towards half forward, reaching over the top. McPhee. McPhee hasn't got the football. Doesn't matter. Lovett Murray back to midfield. Stanton. Stanton alongside the centre square.
This is where the Hawks have been really, really good, just cutting them down and not allowing them to run off the half back line, pushing them wide.
Johnson takes it across the line.
That's a win for the Hawks. That's a real win, because when the Bombers are at their best, that run off the half back line through the corridor has been keeping them in really good stead of recent times.
Two men with charisma looking on. But Durham has it as Peveril goes to the ground. Now Mitchell slips a hand pass away. Birchall in trouble as Brown. Advantages paid. Lovett Murray. McVeigh. And this is Stanton. You talk about it.
Hawks have got their numbers back here, Dennis.
There goes the kick inside the 50. Campbell goes back. Keeps it alive. Well played. To the wing and Slattery.
And that's the ruckman getting into the space and just causing some headaches for the forwards.
Slow kick to Laycock. And then Laycock goes to the pocket with a poor kick. And Lloyd, oh gee, crashed into the fence there. The hip and shoulder coming from Ladson late. And Lloyd just getting up. Bang. So Laycock front spot. Tries the left-hander back. Bateman's give was clever. Sewell gets it from Smith. Hawthorn seemingly in control. A 5-minute burst has completely changed this game. Crawford swings the handle to Vandenberg. Running through the centre. And his kick is a beauty. Gillum forward.
Gee, what about that transfer of play?
And Gillum, who hasn't kicked a goal this year, goes short to Bateman.
Well, that started on the throw-in down in Essendon's forward line. They were just terribly outnumbered. Just have a look around here. All the Hawks players around. Yeah, they got a lucky bounce, but they had players sweeping. They were outnumbered, and the Essendon forward line had nothing to work with. And they get it out, and away they go.
Didn't play against the Bombers in round 6. He's had a pretty good year, Bateman. He kicks from 50. It was a good-looking kick, wasn't it, off the boot? And just the drift at the end, hitting that post.
Work rate now for the Bombers.
Michael to Fletcher.
No movement at all by the Bombers players. They're waiting for it to happen.
Play on's the call. Fletcher just sends it very high towards the outer side. Hard ball to mark. Smith couldn't. McPhee found it on the ground. Looks back towards the middle. Here's a chance if Laycock can control it. He was watching earlier, did it brilliantly. Knocked it down to Wenderlich, who goes in short, awkward half volley for Welsh. Wheeler, that was a strong tackle. It was awkward to lay. He did it brilliantly, and he comes away. Hand pass not so good. Down goes Campbell. Spills out. Wheeler comes back in. He was pushed in the back. He'll get the free kick.
Gee, Matty Lloyd's giving away a few free kicks today. They had the Hawks under the pump there. Brown. Smith the target. Nash. Well, he's given a free kick away too. Well, he hasn't in the end. So Smith and Nash. And now Birchall gets away from Lovett and uses Ladson, who wanted to use the footy before he actually had it. And then Michael to Lovett. Just got the kick. Wasn't really meant for McVeigh. Second possession for McVeigh to Lovett Murray. They need something, the Bombers. Well, that was interesting. Lloyd, well done. Funny old kick, but gets to Welsh at 50. It's hard going, isn't it? But McVeigh starting to get busy. Didn't touch it in the first quarter. Gets his third posse early in the second.
Worked really hard then. Ladson's effort along the other side of the wing only moments before was outstanding too. He had 4 efforts and nearly got rewarded. And actually, when he went for the ball, Bruce, he was too tired to pick it up.
So McVeigh, who can kick a goal, but not this time. And Essendon with 7 behinds and without a major to its name.
McVeigh getting more of it in the midfield. A couple of players dominating that midfield in the first term. Joe Watson, Sam Mitchell. Saw Joe Mercedes running in that first term. Highlights at quarter time. And certainly Joe was Sam Mitchell before there was Sam Mitchell. Lovett across the body. Well, Johnson missed the mark, goes back after it, knocks it forward. We're up, doing some good work in the last couple of minutes. In trouble, Vandenberg. That's deliberate. Holding the ball doesn't matter, you name it. He was in trouble.
Well, he made up for his missed mark, didn't he, Johnson?
Yes.
Stayed in the play. Just got him with a finger tipper.
Yes.
They need a kickstart, don't they? They need a goal, and this could be the man to do it.
That was just luck, wasn't it? Getting the lasso on there. Favoured by a bit of cleavage as the ball goes in towards full forward. McVeigh run down by Hodge. Holding the ball. It's coming back. And Hodge will get the free.
Tackling well, aren't they, the Hawks?
Yeah, just talking about Mitchell, 13 possessions in the opening term. And we've touched on this before. I mean, this season, a number of players, as Birchall goes beyond the wing for Bateman, a number of players have started games brilliantly. I think the best might be Carranzo's 17 as Bateman goes down towards the pocket, getting a hand on that one rider, knocking it out of bounds.
Well, Nathan Foley yesterday had 28 up until half-time. It's not a bad first half.
No, it's good.
And big numbers.
28 in a season.
I was going to say.
Laycock front spot. Missed by Winderlick. Boyle to Roughhead. And then Roughhead back to Crawford. Crawford, well done, Laycock. Vandenberg. Kick inside. Campbell. Gee, Winderlick did very well there not to give a free kick away. Lucas involved. To Stanton. To Nash. To Lovett.
Oh.
Well, Brown just picked him off. And then Mitchell goes inside to Sewell. Not a great kick, but the Hawks have got the numbers. The Ladson's handball, poor. McPhee back to Lovett. Murray getting it from Michael, and Lloyd up the ground takes the mark. But when he looks up, he'll take a deep breath and say, I'll slow it for a moment, and then go to Peveril.
Well, both Lloyd and Lucas now right in defence. They've mixed it up. Courtney Johns, Laycock's in a heap of strife now. Just cop one. Let's have a look at it. Oh,
yeah.
And a size 9 slipper right on the nose.
Not sure it'd be a 9. Came from number 9.
Well, how big do you reckon Craw's feet are?
9s, you reckon?
I reckon he's about a 9.
We don't like mentioning that number around here, Dennis, if you could just refrain.
Old habits die hard, Bruce. Here's Fletcher. We'll get Rick onto that. Not what happened to Laycock, but how big Crawford's feet are. Expect the unexpected. This is Lovett Murray.
We've got all their numbers back, the Hawks. It's what happens when you have a stoppage like that. It gives the defensive side a lot of time to set up.
So Fletcher, his side still goalless, drives it around the outer side, clears everybody. Lloyd, judged at best in float, was cruising past the Hills hand pass but missed it. The hand pass not so flash. That's a great tackle by Hodge. Hill appears to be hurt. Hodge, Vandenberg. Oh, slick work. Vandenberg got it from Crow to Ladson. Ladson squeezes the kick out. This is good football. Sewell away to Birchall to half forward. Needs a mark. In front down there, Dixon. Michael worked off it by Dixon. Clever. Hand passes to Franklin. Franklin hits the leading Boyle, who then proceeded to drop the mark, but Fletcher fell over. Still time for Boyle then. Got it away to Dixon. Feigns a hand pass. Fletcher in the row.
Oh, gee, that's a big win for the Bombers here.
Oh.
Because the Hawks could see a goal coming. Mitchell, Peveril, and Peveril gets the boundary line. Fletcher picks himself up.
Let's just have a look at Fletcher when he gets the footy.
Great reflex this.
Have a look at this one. Wow.
Gee, Dixon didn't know that was coming.
He's very clumsy. He's been booked a few times for tripping and using the feet. Not sure about that one, Dennis.
It's like general soreness, general clumsiness.
Have a look at this. McGlynn on the end of Crow. And then Young. And Young goes for goal. Franklin's there. And so's Dixon. And now Buddy kicks his third.
Big believer in if you got tall forwards, you get it in long because it's unpredictable when it comes off the hands, and that's exactly what's happened here. Good effort here. But he's pushed his opponent in. He kept his feet. And that's what happens when you get it in long and quick. It's very, very hard to stop. But a good effort there by Dixon to come back and make the contest.
Ricky Renshaw.
Yeah, well, Doc Reed took Jason Laycock straight down to the medical room. Just have a look at that eye after the boot from Shane Crawford. That means David Hill will have to take on the ruck combo of Taylor and Campbell by himself. Laycock definitely looked a little bit groggy as he came off as well.
So problems, Kevin Sheedy and the Bombers. Problems on the scoreboard too as Taylor lays it down into the path of Lewis. Stanton gets back first though to Watson. He's a cross half-back, kept his head. He does that so brilliantly. Got the hand pass to McVeigh, comes out to Peverill. Peverill takes the mark, plays on, wanders out towards the wing. Terrible effort. Mitchell on the overlap. Ladson pushing off half-back, goes across the ground. Real opportunity now. McGlynn runs at Fletcher, gets the hand pass to Lewis. They broaden things to Young. 65 metres out, roughhead. Like a wave, a brown and gold wave coming down the ground.
They're going to get smashed if they turn the ball over like that, Damien Peverill. There's a time to play on and then there's a time to not. You do not play on if you haven't got free space in front of you to work on. And that's exactly what happened. That's a huge error by Peverill.
5-5 to 7 behinds. Roughhead kicks a behind. 5-6 to 7 behinds. When was the last time the Bombers were goalless in a half of football?
Gee. We've got the bloke who'll know. And Josh, that's for sure. 17-17 from set shots, Roughhead, this year.
I was looking at you.
I'm his mouthpiece.
You know.
So Michael with a bit of rain coming down again. And the Bombers season is unravelling here.
They're going to bounce it.
Mel Michael doesn't watch us on Friday nights.
No.
You've got to kick it. Give me the football now.
Mate, you've got to watch more football.
Gee, you've got to kick it through, Dennis.
He's got to listen to us, David.
Yep. Inexperienced by an experienced player.
God.
Now they rush it through.
If you play in defence, you'd think you'd know the rules.
Here it is.
Agreed, but I've got to say one thing. If I was Mal Michael, the way Ray Chamberlain spoke to him, I reckon was out of order. I mean, he was just so aggressive towards him.
Oh, Ray is.
Lucas short. That's the last I'll say about that today. Stanton a centre wing.
Set enough.
Now Peverill, I should say. I'm upset, Dennis.
I can tell. There's Peverill going down towards the half-forward line. It goes out of bounds. Let's listen to Ray.
It does go both ways. We'll have a listen.
The football now.
No, you've got to watch more football.
Gee, you've got to kick it through, Dennis.
He's got to listen to it. I think that was me sounding off. I think you confused me with Ray. Ray was a gentleman. Hill got it across. A hand pass comes to Stanton. Bombers go forward. And this one bounces out of bounds in the pocket.
Well, when respect's got to go both ways, doesn't it? Players have got to be courteous. They've got to get the ball back on time, and they've got to be polite to the umpires. Well, Ray, both ways.
Well, if you're Kevin Sheedy, I think it's the old Burt Bacharach song, a message to Michael. Hand pass from Vandenberg, and they run it up again. Birchall, McGlynn, love running it off half-back to the Hawks. Guerra, he's been good. He judged that perfectly. Guerra made it look easy. It wasn't an easy take. And this ball skids out of bounds, and Vandenberg simply runs off the ground and deliberates the call. Pretty tough call, too.
Fletcher.
Just no run from behind by the Bombers. You've got people leading up the ground, but they've got to get run from behind to create. At the moment, all the players are up the ground, and they haven't got any options from behind.
Fletcher gets it from Lovett Murray. It's like they're playing a game of chess, Ox, and they just can't make a move. They don't know where to move right now, the Bombers.
50 metres, you creep it forward.
This will help, 50 metres. That's one way to get forward.
Yep.
But it's as if Hawthorn just are in the right spots on the field when Essendon get the ball.
Well, that's work rate too, Bruce. The Hawks are actually pushing themselves, and I reckon the Bombers are just playing within themselves at the moment.
Well, does he load up here? He could kick this, couldn't he?
Well, he can put it into the third tier.
Do you reckon they need a goal?
Yes.
Still trying to find out that question. If they don't kick one in the first half, the pressure's on.
He'll kick this high too, I reckon. Got aim at the left goal post.
Come on, Fletcher. Good kick.
Yeah.
Great kick. Going and going. You beauty.
Reckon after the way Ray spoke to Mel Michael, Bruce, you've got on board the Essendon.
No, I just wanted to get the pressure off a goalless first half.
Here it is. We'll see McGlynn. He's just creeping over. Being told to come back.
She's a big goal, isn't it, from half-back flank? I mean, it was a Vandenberg free kick, basically.
Well, that's the advantage. It was deliberate out of bounds. The advantage of being able to kick the ball long.
Ricky Olorenshaw.
After that Fletcher goal, Essendon decided to move Scott Lucas forward. He spent the first part of this quarter in a back pocket on Ben Dixon, but she just thought, let's put the big guns up forward and get us a goal.
The other one I'd like to see is Courtney Johns go forward.
Bounce back in the middle from umpire Chamberlain.
Oh, beautiful.
It was down to Watson from Hill. The hand passes forward in the grasp. And now another chance for the Hawks. Crawford gets through. Got it from Young. Lines up from 40. How about that for a quick response?
Well, it's a quick response, but let's have a look at the ruck work here by Hill. He's one of the best in the business. Absolutely ideal. Just the pressure here from Lewis on Watson, which caused a turnover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ooh, he's just about ran too far, but benefit of the doubt.
He's the oldest man on the ground today, Crawford, and there's Laycock back, which is good news. So both Crawford and Fletcher, who kicked the last two goals, were both rising stars in 1993 in the same season. So the two oldies have got goals within a minute. That was spectacular from Crawford. Hill trying to take it out of the centre. The Hawks through Crawford again, and then Lewis sweeps it to Birchall. They're a bit irresistible at the moment, Hawthorn. Michael scooped it up. Back to Birchall, and he finds the boundary line.
The other thing too, when they're having a centre square, the Hawks are coming in off at full pace. The Bombers are waiting for things to happen. The Hawks are making the play at the moment, and Essendon just got to get in front and take the game on, take a risk. No holding back.
Bit of strength on that interchange too for Hawthorn at the moment. Lewis delivers to the pocket, and that was a tough ball for Franklin. And again, a boundary throw in. And the Bomber bench, Peveril, Lovett and Stanton with Laycock.
Well, that's a whole midfield there.
Yep.
It's a centre bounce. Team B.
It's a 5-goal game, getting deep into this first half.
You just get the feeling around these packs, Joe Watson is getting outnumbered. As simple as that, lacking support. Now, there's a whistle. It wasn't the umpire close to the footy.
Mark's here, thanks. He might have, but you went straight at him instead of the football.
Kieran Nichols was about 50 metres away, but in perfect possession, back towards the middle. And he awarded the free. You can see the officiating umpire, Marty Ellis, cruising behind there.
If that's what that's yellow card material for Buddy Franklin. That is a wonderful, wonderful dive.
Well, he's got the football, and he's going at number 4. Fair to assume he likes playing against these Bombers. 9 earlier this season. Well, that's not his best ever, but he kicks it behind. I've been in coded contact with Josh, and he tells me the last time, it's academic now.
Look at that. Now,
I don't think you can do that. The ball's behind him. Paddy's looking in the other direction. Come on, come back at me, big fella.
I'll let you call the play first. I'll get you when you least expect it.
Hodges got it. Goes down towards half forward, and Young. Now, Josh tells me the last time, the only time actually, that Kevin Sheedy with the Bombers went goalless in the first half was round 17, 1984. But Footscray, the team they were playing that day, was also goalless at half-time. So how about that? They must have been playing with a bocce ball.
Glad we weren't calling.
Who won?
We didn't say.
Bombers won.
Crawford doing well. Vandenberg And now McGlynn inside that 50, and Michael Boyle just slipping at the wrong time. Not a great handball by Watson. He put Fletcher under the pump, and then Slattery's made a bit of a meal of it. And then Hodge, he's got a whole heap to choose from. Gets it to Campbell, and then missed there by Young. Vandenberg, this is a good win for the Bombers. McPhee to Nash, normally pretty good with the footy, goes to Lucas in the back. No. Well, Brown held up very well. He's going to be happy here, Brown, and so will the Hawks fans. And look at him dashing away.
Wait, cut the kick. You got to wait for the signal. Yeah, I've got. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
How quick can you be? He's hyper, Brown, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Well, he's really changed the dynamics of backman this year. He's a lot smaller, picked up some big players, and he got the better of Lucas last time they played also.
Mitchell. Good run past is Smith. Well done, Mitchell. Delayed the hand pass. Smith runs down towards the 50, pulls it back. Roughheads the target, attracted a crowd. Lurking in front of that pack, Vandenberg. Goes back to Campbell. Campbell pops it up in the air. Ramanauskas. Hand-to-hand combat there with McGlynn. Johnson. McPhee. Reaching over the top, a chance for the Hawks at the base of that pack is McGlynn. We liked him last time we saw him.
Well, the biggest problem for the Bombers at the moment, they're not hitting their targets with their handballs. They're either going too far in front or behind, putting the carrier under pressure.
In fact, it was Gillen who got the free. And now in the pocket, an opportunity for the Hawks. Getting in there is Stanton, just off the bench. They're still under pressure. Hill, and now Lovett Murray.
Asking his players to come forward. He's kicking to the centre. Good job done by Guerra. And then Crawford sweeps it to Campbell. And that footy just hard to hold at times. Mitchell back to Guerra. And he had 2 or 3 options, and he went the short way to Birchall. So Essendon having real trouble, aren't they? Trying to mount anything here. As Young gets around, and Franklin pushes in the back on Ryder. No free kick, and Roughhead kicks the goal.
Do you reckon the Hawks have worked something out? You get it in hard and long and high, and they got the big men to bring it down. But it's the big men doing their own roving at the moment. We saw Franklin do it just before. Roughhead keeps his feet. Good play. It's so dangerous when you get it in hard and very, very quick. Maybe a push in the back there, but I can't see them all, Dan.
No. Centre clearances favouring the Hawks. And Ricky's been on the blower too, and he tells me that Shane Crawford takes an 8.5. You'll be unlucky, Ox. Actually, other trivia coming in from the Hawks. 7 left-footers in their side today. Leads the league. And they're joint leaders with the most Christian-named surnames with the Western Bulldogs. Out of the middle, the kick goes down towards half-forward from McVeigh. Bounces past Lucas, taken by Lloyd. Lucas trying to bend it back. Loves that situation. Misses the post by just a little bit. Goal out of nothing for the Bombers.
In quick again. Into the forward line. It's amazing. You get it in quick and you just, things are starting to open up and appear. Good play there by Lloyd too to get it on, but gee, what a finish that is. Left foot up, pushed up along the boundary line, under enormous pressure. Whoa, that is a valve in it.
Oh, what a wonderful goal.
Keeps them in touch too, doesn't it?
5-goal game and gives them some heart there. I think their pride have been stung a bit. Campbell in the centre doing well on Hill. So 7 goals to 2. A few minutes to go before half-time. Gee, an errant foot went in. Peveril. Well, he had nowhere to go. He was on his wrong side, and it may get to Lucas, who's going to be outnumbered again. Bateman terrific. And then goes towards Smith on the line, and now out of play. feel like this game could erupt also. I mean, there's a lot of feeling out there.
Well, that's where Hawthorn have been really good. They've got numbers to all the contests. It's very rare that we've seen Essendon outnumber the Hawks at any stoppage, which is a concern.
Ramanauskas, who started interchange, sweaving around, did pretty well, kept his head. Welsh to Hill. He has to straighten up. And the kick down the line. Watson nearly. And then Crawford's toe poke. He missed it. And then Winderlick did okay to Watson, who goes back to Johnson. He's having a pretty average old day. And then Bateman can hurt them.
McLean through midfield, a half forward. Gillum had to wait. Fletcher came hard and again did well. Punched it wide, but Gillum stayed on his feet. Fletcher missed him. Gillum. McLean's run on. All the options in the world to choose from. Chose the worst of them. Went to Crawford, knocked away by Hill. Ramanauskas went down. Birchall to Hodge. Kicks it down towards full forward. Hangs a long time in the air. And Roughhead somehow takes the mark at the back. He turned it into a chest mark, going the wrong way.
Just got Courtney Johns under the ball. Shane Crawford looking a little bit ginger after his last effort.
Well, he'll be talking to Babyface about that pass, I think. Running around, Roughhead. Misses everything. It's out of bounds on the full.
Ricky, what's Laycock's situation? Did he come back?
Well, he seems to be okay, but the problem is they can't stop the bleeding, so they have to wait till half-time now just to put a couple of stitches in that eyebrow. Also, is Shane Crawford. He copped a cork in that last marking contest.
Chiguera too easily there. And then inboard to Lewis. And Lewis to Birchall. And Birchall loads up. Big fly by Hodge. He had the drop.
I was just chatting before, Dave, about the number of left-footers they have, and that was a succession of left-footers, and suddenly it really does change up the angle on defenders, doesn't it?
My word. Once again, in long and fast, and you put those defenders under that enormous pressure. Often we see sides go around the top of the 50 and try and guide it in and hit a lead. Sometimes get it in, and it's so hard to stop.
Kicked 4 goals in his 100th game against Carlton on the Friday night at the Dome earlier this year, and that's a shocker. He can do that every now and then, but he's kicked 2 goals 5 from set shots this year, believe it or not, Hodge. And a couple of misses in this term, and just keeping the Bombers in this match. They're a long way back.
Gee, they've got a good wall set up here, the Hawks. They've pushed all the wings half backs down as well.
Fletcher trying to go over them. That's a high ball. Up very high. Probably did the stitches in. They've split. Here's McVeigh. Pushes off half back to midfield and McPhee. Can they get a late goal? 1 minute and 3 seconds remain. Lovett Murray. 55 metres out and closing. Long to full forward. Lloyd in position A. I think he was being held onto. Well, it's gone the other way. I thought perhaps Lloyd was the man being held.
Come round, no, come round.
No, got him.
No, that's right. Hasn't had a good day today, Matthew Lloyd.
4 he's given away now, Dennis.
Weira, who has had a good day, goes to Young. Young goes towards the outer side. Joel Smith getting some separation. Looks back towards the middle. Now, a couple of players here. They made the right decision. Birchall can carry. Goes through midfield. Talking about a late goal at one end. It could be at the other. Down to 20 seconds. McVeigh lays it off. Fletcher. And the dangerous pass. Lucas on the wing. Only one man to kick to. Monfries. And finds him amongst 3.
Well worked in.
Monfries looks to the square. We're down to 7 seconds. I think perhaps a free kick down there. Is there one for holding the ball? And the umpire decides, well, I didn't pay the first one. I'll ping him on the second. Did Guerra have prior opportunity? I'm not sure.
Into the quarter.
Quarter is over. Lloyd will line it up.
Oh.
You've got to love it.
Why isn't it a free kick to Lloyd in the first place?
Well, exactly.
Then where's the prior opportunity? That was a make-up free kick.
Of course it was.
Well, gee, an important goal here too, because it brings it back to 25 points.
But there's nothing wrong with a make-up free kick within a second or two. Nothing changes though.
Crowd enjoyed it though.
Seems to be a Hawthorn house. As Lloyd comes in, goal umpire goes a long way, but it's okay. Matthew Lloyd gets his first. Essendon get their third, and they're still in this game. Don't worry about that. Half time of the G. Hawthorn 7-9, Essendon 3-8.
PlayStation 3. Massive breakthrough. The ultimate computer entertainment device is now even better value. For $988, get the PlayStation 3 with 60 gig hard drive, plus Resistance Fall of Man, plus Motorstorm, plus an extra wireless controller. Bonus, that's right, 2 games and extra controller at no extra cost. When you buy your PS3 for $988, a massive saving. PlayStation 3 plus games plus controller, all for $988. Get into PlayStation 3. Now at Harvey Norman's Games Hotspot.
Me and Steve have been working well as a team all year. We're confident that we can make the finals. Thanks to Hungry Jack's Footy Finals fever, when we buy any Whopper or Whopper value meal, we've got a chance to win tickets to the AFL finals with flights and accommodation, including the 2007 Toyota AFL Grand Final. There's daily prize packs and loads of Whopper prizes to be won instantly. I think we're shaping up to be a winning team this September.
Burger's better at Hungry Jack's.
From Die Another Day, the Aston Martin Vanquish. From The Spy Who Loved Me, the Lotus Esprit. From Goldfinger, the Aston Martin DB5. Introducing the James Bond car collection. Every vehicle comes in a special collector's case featuring a classic scene. The cars are perfect scale models in immaculate detail, including the gadgets and the weapons, and come with a fascinating magazine. The first car is the Aston Martin DB5, the James Bond car collection. Out now.
What did he say? He says you can see quite well.
Every eye is an eye. When you're doing the surgery there, that is just as important as if you were doing eye surgery on the Prime Minister or the King.
Yeah. He's got to be all right.
Die Hard 4.0.
We've always believed some people were born to work at St. George because it takes a special kind of person to work for us. The type of person that believes customer service actually means looking after people.
Thanks so much for sorting that out, Steve.
Not a problem. Anything else I can help you with?
Oh.
So come on in and discover the St. George difference for yourself. St. George. Good with people, good with money.
Live Thursday at 8.
That's close. Yes.
Can the Bombs avoid another strike from the Cobra?
That's beautifully bowled.
Thursday at 8. Live and exclusive. Fox Sports 2.
AFL, it's down to the business end of the season, and Fox Sports has got you covered with 4 live games every week. This August on Fox Sports.
Both sides having chances at various times in this one to establish a stranglehold. Certainly Essendon early, 7 behind straight. And Hawthorn about 2/3 of the way through that second term, dominating the play, not quite putting it on the scoreboard, Dave.
Well, if they get the first one, Dennis, they're right back in it. And sometimes it takes a little bit of luck. They got the Fletcher goal, they got the Lucas goal, and all of a sudden they're back into it.
Talked a lot about the rivalries in the 80s between the two. Well, the margin in that 1984 grand final at half-time was, yep, you guessed it, 25 points. And the Bombers famously coming back in that grand final. Who knows?
Billy Duckworth. He'd know. 7-9, 3-8. Franklin has been the master in that duel so far. Could have had 5 by half-time.
Be interested to see how the Bombers start this third term. I want to see them coming off the square, be accountable, take the game on, take a risk, believe in what they've got.
Sam Mitchell in the background there, 19 possessions to half-time, 13 of them in the opening term. Second half Sunday football. Campbell with the left hand. Pepperell goes after it. Hand passes towards half forward. Birchall did well, knocked it down. Sewell over the top of Guerra. Johnson came hard and met him. Vandenberg tried to go back to Ladson. Well played, forcing it forward was Welsh, trying to get through Winderlick. Didn't succeed. Love it, a half chance. A real scramble. Some shadow boxing in there by Vandenberg. Got it to Sewell, who creates space and kicks it shy of the wing, and Lewis takes the mark.
That clearing kick by the Hawks has been pretty good all day.
That was a beauty, wasn't it? Campbell the target. He had a very good opening half, and that's a neat kick. Gillum unable to, and then Fletcher wanted to get it as far away as possible. Laycock off the ground. Hawks have got the numbers. Smith to work it back, you'd reckon, and he does, to his captain. And Vandenberg, well, that's found the boundary line. He didn't mean that deliberately. Remember that the Hawks gave up the first goal of the match from a Vandenberg long kick that found the line, and Fletcher got a 50-metre penalty.
Just a bit rusty, Vandenberg. He's been out for a while. He's hasn't played at the top level for a while last week, but hasn't played much footy at all this year.
Last week, Oxen, the only other game was against the Bombers here early in the year in round 6. Good mark by Welsh. Lloyd, not quite, but he's got Lucas on his own at centre half forward, and he just couldn't find him. And it's a boundary throw in.
We love Matty Lloyd. We know how good he is on the left-hand side, but footballers coming through today's system, I think you look at that piece of tape and you say that's why players have got to be good on both sides of the body, because he's got a player inside. Lucas couldn't see him, couldn't hit the target.
And yet they combined so well, didn't they, in the second quarter with that handball to Lucas, which produced that goal. Well,
oh, that's bad by Essendon. No one in the contest.
And then Brown walks it over the line. So the first score of the second half, a walkover, with Brown not really keen to kick it. Now he does.
Goes in short. Of course, Campbell Brown's dad had a history against the Bombers. This is Birchall. Up from the back pocket, drives it towards the outer side. Well-weighted kick. Well done, McPhee going back. Bateman dived on the football. Somehow it came out. Johnson hasn't got it, surely. Peverill, McVeigh, Peverill, McVeigh. Hard against the boundary line. Hugs the boundary line with a kick. Lloyd coming up, I think with intent. Got it across to McPhee. His hand pass was errant. Coming away is Crawford. Surrounded Crawford. From half back, wants the boundary. No, he doesn't. He pulls it back still further. Took a bounce back towards the middle. Favoured Hodge. He soccers inside the centre square. Boyle made it hard for himself. Over the top, Johns. Johns and Boyle. Johns flicks it out. Diving after it, Hodge. Now he needs to be careful. He'll be penalised. Yes, sirree.
You dived on it, Hodgie. Hodgie, you dived on it. You dived on it.
No doubting that. Showed courage, but stood for naught. Stanton. Welsh is getting busy to start this term. His third possession, just forward of the wing. Looks down towards half forward. Decides to just loop it over the man on the mark. Stanton. Lucas. That was a push in the back. He'll be penalised.
Well, both Lloyd and Lucas had a goal in the opening half, but they need big halves from them here, don't they? They were well held. I know Lucas played down back and was off the ground for a bit in the first half, but I think Kevin Sheedy needs a big second half from two blokes that have served him so well. Half of Lloyd's 812 goals have actually come at the MCG, exactly half after that goal at half-time. Hodges' kick, where was that to? Well, Bateman not looking, and then Lovett Murray scooped it back. The ball comes out, and then Stanton to Welsh, to McVeigh, to Lucas. Couldn't quite hold it, and they're going to feed off him again.
Gee, chopping of the arms there, I thought.
Brown. Having a bit of fun, I reckon, today, Brown, enjoying it. Bateman.
Just looks like they've got the slow-mo button on at the moment. They've come out and both sides just very hesitant in going forward. They don't want to take it on.
Well, the Bombers have been inside 50 on 5 occasions this half and haven't got really anything to show, but that's a beautiful kick. Hard to mark on a day like today.
Now they're away.
Ryder. This is Lovett. Goes down towards half forward. Lloyd's got some separation. Well, he was waiting for someone to run into his back there. Tracks it back towards the boundary. Deep in the pocket. Was pushed as he kicked. Pushed in the back. He'll get the free kick.
Push here.
It was most strange by Matthew Lloyd as the ball arrived.
That's a player not having any confidence in what they're doing, Dennis. Well, a tough kick from here. The L1-2.
The ledger is square after something earlier with Buddy Franklin in about this area. In comes Lloyd. He's working it back, slams it into the post. That was a pretty good kick from there for a left footer.
Well, he's involved in the match, that's for sure. Some good things, some not so good. Birchall to Lewis.
Good player, Birchall, isn't he? He just holds up and he waits for the player to make it, and then he directs where he's going to kick the ball.
He's 19 years of age too. He just has got a very, very mature football brain, and he did well there, releasing Bateman. Short, too far for Buddy. Probably could have gone a bit longer. Roughhead gone. Had it forever.
Initial tackle was over the shoulder, Dustin.
Oh, gee, sorry. Free kick the other way.
I thought he got him around the waist.
Oh, no.
Gee.
Hand on the shoulder, eh?
I just get the impression umpire Schwartz wouldn't be paying many free kicks today.
Let's put the whistle away and let them play footy, Dennis.
Roughhead. Kick one. He's missed an easy one. And he's missed another one. So, if you remember the Hodge miss in the second term, just keeping Essendon interested here, aren't they? A 4-goal game.
Cosmic payback. Here's Stanton. Short of half back to Fletcher. Another high kick. He's got that patented high ball to midfield. Laycock almost beaten for the mark by Taylor. Taylor goes again. Got it from Mitchell. Like a gazelle through midfield. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Gillum heard a voice, tried to flick it behind. Stanton ran into a dead end. Down goes Johns. Roughhead got it out. Sula's tackle from behind. Back to Roughhead. Oh, clever. Gets it through to Franklin, and he's missed. Oh, gee, that was well thought out by Roughhead.
Just have a look at that. If Campbell Brown didn't take Lucas out in that action right there, sometimes you wonder what the umpires are watching. And I'm not going to get involved with the umpires anymore, Bruce. I know that you did that halfway through the first quarter. It's taken me another half, so that's it for me.
You guys.
I've had my complaint.
Fletcher to Ramanauskas. First goal, pretty big, I reckon. It was a long time in the first quarter. We talked about the foreplay there. Well, this has been a shabby start to the second half, but it's interesting. Shabby but interesting. Welsh to Johns to Fletcher. Short to Welsh. But the longer it goes, the more important this first goal becomes. Michael found it. Peveril, quick kick to Laycock. Now it's a good kick, Laycock. Can he use it? Lloyd got him.
Takes one of the biggest blokes on the ground to show how to kick a ball inside 50. Just put it up and let the player run onto it.
First mark inside 50 for either Lucas or Lloyd today.
Gee. And they're still within striking distance. That's I think that's very, very telling that the Hawks have wasted a lot of opportunities.
Well, I reckon if he kicks it as well as he kicked the last one, he'll kick a goal, because the last one was the wrong side. It was a tighter angle, and it was a very, very good kick. It hit the post.
It's almost the right-hand goalpost that he's got to be kicking it towards. It should swing right to left.
We say this, don't we? But this is a big kick. And it's floating the other way. So Lloyd with a couple of behinds in the second half. And the Bombers get to 24 points again.
It's almost as though that the Bombers have got to take every opportunity when it comes to them. Goals like that need to be kicked, because I don't think the Hawks are going to miss too many more, and they're going to keep coming.
Ladson. Over the top was Welsh. Lewis slow to get up. This is Sewell. Plenty of runners inside. McGlynn is one of them, and that's beautiful usage of the football. Should have been marked. Gillum missed it. Lovett Murray flicks it back. Ryder got through by standing still. Kicks it beyond Brown. Lurking at the back, a chance there for Monfries. He was slow, or is it Slattery in there? We've got a whistle. Slattery was penalised. Or was he? That was a knee to the back of the head. The umpire has decided Slattery, in fact, had no prior opportunity.
Welsh has had a pretty good third term, 7 disposals already.
Lovett Murray to space. Stanton, 55 metres out, vacant goal square. Runs across the face and goes out of bounds in the opposite pocket. 53 plays 29. Rick Olorenshaw.
Yeah, there was a real problem with Luke Hodge on that tackle on Matthew Lord a few minutes back. He fell awkwardly. So as spoke to the doctor, he's got a problem with the inside of his knee. He's plonked himself as a loose man defence, but he's definitely got a problem with that knee.
So Laycock brings it back, but here is Hodge, and he did really well there. To Mitchell, to Ladson, who's on his left, and Crawford, who was also a bit wounded in the first half. That's a wonderful kick to Brown, running hard off Lucas. And then Brown decides to go bang to full forward. Roughhead will kick a goal. I think that's called end-to-end footy.
My word it is. And what about the running by Campbell Brown on the outer side? Just want to have a look at this. Well, hands right in the middle of the back. Can't work that one out.
You're
but this is here it is here. This is it. This is it. Campbell Brown's work rate to get off Lucas. Well, what do you call that, Dennis?
I agree with you, but you don't want to pay him, and you want to pay him. And
Spearhead Roughhead gets the goal, the volley, makes it tough. Essendon were enjoying a pretty good patch. Again, didn't put it on the scoreboard. Hill thumps it down towards half forward. Ladson, Mitchell, Taylor, Crawford, Hodge pushing up the ground. That's interesting. Sewell sold into trouble and threw it. Well, that was unnecessary. The hand pass from Hodge to Sewell. McPhee's away. Kicks inside the forward 50. Lucas in best position. Well forced to spoil. Down goes Lloyd. Ball spills towards the pocket. Crawford trying to keep it in, I think. Sold me on the idea. And the boundary throw in.
Dennis, just a bit of advice here for Crody. You get up that high. Take the grab. Take the grab.
Amazing game for Lloyd this afternoon. Been in the thick of it. There's Watson, got it from Hill. Smothered by Bateman, close to the boundary line. Watson can't keep it in.
Started brilliantly, slowed a little. So a 5-goal game. Got to manufacture something here, the Bombers. They need the next couple of goals, you would think. Low scoring match, slippery ball, difficult conditions, high pressure game. Bateman to Young. Young's kick is a beauty. To McGlynn, who's normally a good user. It's got Guerra. They're on here. If Guerra can quickly get to Lewis. He was held up. McGlynn, not a good handball. And Nash gets hold of him and he's gone. Ball up.
Hey, relax, Nash. You get up and walk away. He's not on the ball because he's had no prior opportunity. The ball's pinned under his guts. On the arm, Robert Campbell. Robbie.
They've given away a few free kicks, the Bombers, in the rucking contest. And now Lewis has kicked Ramanauskas with a chance against Crawford, the 2 9s. But it was Crawford who won it to McGlynn. Rama's got him.
On the ball. Rama, let it go, Mark. Let it go. No,
That's got to be a 50.
Oh, it is 50, isn't it? Well, it wasn't given. How didn't that become 50 metres? Anyway, short to Stanton. Gee, what a run by Ramanauskas. Slattery out wide, getting it now at centre wing.
It's a good thing for the umpires I'm here this afternoon. Slattery's got it just forward of the wing. Comes back. Good decision. Paid the mark.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Stanton comes across the ground. And Johns has it.
Okay, time to break now for the Bombers. They've got to just start creating.
Fletcher. The defensive side of the wing goes towards half-forward McPhee. 30 points the margin. McPhee inside the forward 50. Ambitious kick. Michael has gone forward. Robbed of it by Crawford. Gathered the half volley brilliantly. Birchall back to Sewell. Birchall, a natural left footer. A bit of a problem. Mitchell missed it. Coming through his hill, socketed to his own advantage. In fact, it's Lloyd who throws it on the boot. Oh, wonderful work. Brown claiming a mark. A bit excessive, but what a terrific effort by Campbell Brown going back with the flight of the ball.
Well, when do you ever see Campbell Brown? No. He's claimed the mark, but it's not a mark. But he puts in 100% every week, doesn't he?
He's so entertaining, isn't he?
Yeah.
And very effective. That was a great play.
And really been able to control his emotions this year. That's probably one area that he really struggled with. But aggression, he's now under control and he's putting it all to defending, and he's such a better player.
Oh, Vandenberg's kick not good. Saul worked it back to Vandenberg. Back to Hodge. Ricky's talked about his restrictions. He got it from Smith and then kicks over the top. Bateman worked Nash cleverly. Now does he take him right on? He sent it beautifully. Brilliant football.
What about his explosion when the ball went over the top of his head? He took off here, got the good bounce, but held it up and just put it out in front. Beautiful. Beautiful play there.
They're just more efficient, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
That's the difference.
And they're willing to run. You can see the Hawks running from behind, running onto the footy, running into open space.
Well, he was a dead-eyed Dick earlier today, wasn't he, from the pocket, Dixon? A chance for a second goal. And home it goes. Big lead now.
Takes his opportunities, Dixon. He doesn't get a lot throughout the match. Might get his 4, 5, maybe 6, but he takes them, kicks them through, and they're very important pieces of play. Buddy Franklin coming off, Boyle back onto the ground. But that's a wonderful kick there by Bateman coming in board. That's undisciplined. That's disciplined football by a player that just about had every right to have a shot, bringing another player into the game. Good work.
Alarm bell sounding now for the Bombers. They're falling off the pace. The inside 50s. More importantly, the margin 35 points. And that wasn't 50. So many subplots. Players going down. We're back in the middle. And Essendon going down. Slowly at the moment. It could hasten unless they do something. Welsh kicks it straight up in the air. Play on's the call, getting across and gathering Bateman, who was brilliant moments ago, and again his usage of the ball outstanding. Boyle has it. Roughhead offers a lead, drops back. Instead he goes looking for the big fellow coming up, Gillum. And he was quick for a man that tall.
They might have changed the Bombers too. They've put the big Courtney Johns up forward. And since he's been out, well, the Bombers have just struggled a little bit, but it's the foot skills now in the last 5 minutes by the Hawks which have really shown the Bombers up. Bateman's run. He's hit the target a couple of times, but a really good spot up there by Boyle.
Now, Gillum has never kicked an AFL goal, so if he kicks this, it's a bit like Ugly Betty getting the guy. And he comes, kicks, and kicks truly. How about that?
Well, his cheers aren't as big as Mark Blake's yesterday, as he broke his duck as well. But this is a good kick by Boyle. And Gillum, I thought he'd just messed it up here, but third grab. That's where the loose man has to get in front of that bit of space, just to cut that lead off. It's the only danger with that lead.
Well, they've broken the game open now, and Bateman's been a big part of it in the last couple of minutes.
Well, the Bombers have only kicked 3 goals. That's been the big issue, that they haven't had enough goal scorers.
And think back as to how they got their goals, Ox. I mean, the Fletcher 50-metre penalty, the Lucas freakish goal, and the free kick to Lloyd on half-time.
Yeah.
So they haven't come in a conventional manner, have they? Not through any running teamwork. They've got themselves into a position, Watson good there, but they just can't do anything when they get to about this spot. Lewis, Bateman, Lovett, and then John Scott in his road, and then dishes it out to McPhee. Did pretty well there, McPhee, to Welsh, up and under. Play on called, hard ball, McVeigh, Slattery, left foot, coming back, he's got one. Maybe there's a bit of hope yet.
They need a lot more of that. They need run, but made the most of his opportunity. Good punch there by McVeigh. Good finish. For the Bombers, they need some run. They need Winderlich to get more of it. He's only had the 6 disposals. Lovett's only had 7. They've just got to go for it now and really just put all their efforts into the next 4 minutes. If they can get back to within maybe 4 goals, well, they're a chance.
Clearances pretty well split this term, but generally with the Hawks. 71 plays 36. Kevin Sheedy. Their percentage is so poor that they simply can't afford to lose matches against rivals around them. Crawford, Vandenberg goes inside the 50, pushing the side, was it? No. And maybe that's the right call, and as much as the ball might have been a fair way away when he did the pushing, yes. I think that was more than where the push was located. Lovett to midfield. Michael, oh, what was he thinking? Got in the air, looked nice. In the centre circle, lays it off. Lovett Murray kicks inside the forward 50. Lloyd at the back, takes the mark, but a push. No. What's the call here?
Relax, please. Hey, first of all, you come over his shoulder. That's holding my arm. Quinton. He did grab your arm eventually, but it started over his shoulder, Quinton. So it's a free kick. So we're just going to stand here, just to back a metre. Thanks, Luke. Fantastic.
Well, I think it had to be there to be grabbed.
Well, that was the first one. Then Matthew Lloyd gives Trent Croad a bit of a heave-ho here.
Umpire Chamberlain sounding like Huey Lewis. Was that was it their song?
Yes.
Relax. Okay. Thank goodness for that. Monfries gets the goal. You don't know.
I have no idea. But I'll agree with you then.
I'm not sure.
Well, there's about 4 free kicks as that ball came in. I thought Mel Michael had messed it up in the centre of the ground. One over the top, push in the back. But in order of sequence, he got lucky, but actually Monfries was holding his arm over the top. Young couldn't do much about it. So good result there for the Bombers. They're still in touch.
Monfries, a late inclusion for Gumbleton, and before him Slattery, have given the Bombers a little bit of hope here as they close to within 5 goals again.
Haven't seen them have a clean piece of play inside 50 where they've kicked a goal yet. They've all been scrappy or stop plays.
Lewis, and this is where Hawthorn have been very good. Boyle, Michael, belting towards the line. Crawford has had a good match. He's re-signed for next year, the 32-year-old. Bad bounce for Lewis. Winderlich. Out wide, Mark Johnson, who got a couple of late goals against the Crows, which hurt last week.
Boundary throw in.
I think Hodge was pretty happy to run it over.
Got a strong body, Hodge, hasn't he? Just held the ball in, didn't want to let it go, and took it over the boundary line. Exactly what he needed to do.
So the Bombers attacking again. Laycock, quick kick out. Lloyd getting back was Guerra. Third man and belting it over the line.
Gee, that was good work by Croad then. He was just trying to protect the space for his teammate to come through and take the mark. It was a good, strong one-on-one contest from 2 blokes that are pretty strong combatants.
So the boundary throw in.
A bit short. Ruckman had to come and find it. Weir got it from Hodge to Young. And now McGlynn out of the back pocket. Finds Crawford.
He's right half back. Just pops it to space. Smith is away. Being pursued by Johns, but Smith all the time in the world goes to Lewis. The skill certainly of the Hawks on display this afternoon. Far better than those of the Bombers. He's about 70 metres out. Enjoying a fine season. Just pulls the kick back slightly to no man's land though. Here's a chance for Ladson. Goal from Franklin. Kicks the goal.
Well, that was a result. That was a result because the ball down on the half-back line was a poor decision by Courtney Johns not to go to his opponent, which was Joel Smith, and as a result, they got a loose player.
You've got to defend. You've got to defend goal side, and what he did, he went to the ball carrier. He got sucked in. He had to be a lot smarter. He had to go with Joel Smith and make the ball carrier carried up.
Taken 16th in the 2001 draft, was about to play his first game the next year and hurt himself in the warm-up, Ladson, so he was a slow start to him, but that's a terrific goal. Coming from that boundary throw-in in the forward pocket for the Bombers.
Laycock out of the centre. Mark Johnson. Too hard for Nash.
Their handballing's been terrible today, Essendon. They've missed the target so many times.
And Saul will probably think he's a bit stiff there. Didn't really have much of a chance. So
Laycock's sloppy handball, but it gets to Ramanauskas and then Watson to Ramanauskas to Lloyd.
I reckon they've missed 15 handballs today, the Bombers.
Yep. Lloyd hasn't kicked as well this year. He's usually about a 75% man from a set shot over the course of his career, but not this season. He's around the 59-60% range, and he needs this goal.
What about the blocking work there by Monfries? Good on him to get in front of big Trent Croad.
So Lloyd's third shot for goal in this term. He's kicked a couple of points after that second quarter goal, and that helps. He's now got 2.
Impressive play there by Monfries, and it goes unrewarded because there's no stat that says that you've created space, but when the ball came in, he'd already put a screen on Trent Croad. Sloppy there by Laycock, but that's why Young ended up on Lloyd, because 2 seconds before he'd already put the block on Trent Croad. So just working for each other in the forward line, that's exactly what they needed.
Still hope.
Lucas gone forward now.
Alistair Clarkson has won 4 out of 5 against Kevin Sheedy. 5 goals, I reckon, Dave, is the psychological margin, isn't it?
Yeah, they're under that right now. You get it below 20, and you still believe you're a chance no matter how late in the game.
How about 30? As Sewell kicks inside the forward 50 of the mark is taken by Lovett Murray.
I reckon 30 before three-quarter time is a tough ask, but once you get below that, you're right, you're well on your way.
Okay. You're right about that. You're wrong before. Frankie goes to Hollywood was the answer. Breaking away. This is Lovett Murray. Left it behind. Oh, well played by Watson. Backing up, socketed forward. Laycock falling to the ground over the shoulder. Missed by Ramanauskas. In goes Sewell. Feeds it out. Vandenberg gets away with a throw is the call. That was a belated whistle.
Can you get a fist on it, Sully?
That was a really, really good call there. You'll see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Beautiful call.
Just came a bit late. Lovett on the burst. Then inside the 50. Bombers need a goal. Comes off the hands and off the boot of McPhee. Lucas falling to the ground. Watson wheels around. Spots a man and gives it to Peverill. So the margin that Dave was talking about almost within sight. We're down to 30 seconds. The clock continues to run. It shouldn't. So many things to work on.
This is a very, very important kick.
Well, this clock, we've got a road clock.
Because he already called time on.
What couldn't possibly have. Peverill comes in, just forgot. Peverill comes in and kicks a goal. Oh, these Bombers.
Well, there's spirit here. They haven't thrown it in at all. 23 points. We're not sure how much time's left in the quarter. I'm not sure if they'll get another one. But a really good contest there by McPhee. He brought it to ground. Lucas, he didn't want to handball it off, but he did. Found Watson, and Watson really good skill to then find Peverill. Very, very good finish. There's still a chance here.
Well, we talked about the 25 points at half-time in 1984. It was 23 points at three-quarter time.
Oh, no, Bruce.
That's what it is right now.
Bruce.
77 to 54. I reckon Sheedy set it up. It's perfect. But I tell you what, those late goals, those 4 goals in the last 10 minutes of that quarter have given this man's team some hope.
Where's Leon Baker when you need him?
Well, Kevin's going to have to find one, and he's done it before, but the Hawks have made all the running, and they lead it by 77 to 54.
Get connected with Harvey Norman and Telstra. For a limited time only, connect to any 24-month Telstra phone plan on the Next G network and receive this bonus Canon digital camera valued at over $300. Nokia, now on Next G. Pay $0 up front on an $80 Telstra phone plan and get your bonus Canon digital camera. That's right, connect to any 24-month Telstra phone plan and get a bonus digital camera. And remember, we can print your photos direct from your mobile phone. Get connected now at your Telstra dealer, Harvey Norman, the mobile phone specialist.
The car.
It's Die Hard 4.0.
Hi, Dad. Here's your dinner.
Thanks, love. I'll see you tomorrow. LG's kitchen range makes everything easy, so anyone can use it. LG. Life's good.
The James Bond car collection. Every vehicle is mounted in a special collector's case featuring a classic scene. The cars are perfect scale models and come with a fascinating magazine. The first car is the Aston Martin DB5, the James Bond car collection.
The new Econ Cool Picks collection.
We're confident we can make the finals, thanks to Hungry Jack's. When we buy any Whopper or Whopper value meal, we could win a trip to the AFL finals and grand final. Plus, there's daily prizes and instant wins.
Burgers better at Hungry Jack's.
Football is defined by many memorable performances. Acts of incredible determination and resolve.
Griffin on Bowden then wins the football.
This year, players who demonstrate outstanding courage, initiative and teamwork will be recognised by the 2007 AFL Army Award. Vote for the player you think went beyond the call at afl.com.au. The Army. Challenge yourself.
Rewind your weekend and re-cue for the ultimate footy review. Monday nights on Fox Sports. From 7:30, go ground to ground across the round with Clinton Gribus as he hosts the comprehensive AFL highlight show, The Winners. Then live at 8:30, settle onto the couch with Jared, Mike and Wolsey as they kickstart the footy week with uncompromising analysis of the latest news, results and opinions. AFL Monday from 7:30, Fox Sports 1.
So that Camp Quality's Escapade Adventure can raise money for kids with cancer, we need you to enter your pre-1980 car or sponsor one. Otherwise, we won't be going anywhere.
NRL, it's crunch time as the semis loom and the battle is on for the final 8 spots. Catch every minute of every game right here on Fox Sports.
And they came back a bit, the Bombers, very late. And a couple of times in that quarter, Hawthorn got to almost 7 goals. Oxen looked home and hosed, but it's back to 23 points.
Well, they outscored them, and Kevin Sheedy would have gone in with that to the boys, saying, hang on, we're still in this. We couldn't have played any worse, and we got 2 points on them that quarter. They're going to have to come out. They're going to have to get the clearances straight out of the centre. They're going to have to be attacking. They're going to have to be bold, and they're going to have to take the game on. They can't wait for it to happen. They've got to be ready to go.
Alistair Clarkson talking to his team. So the stage is set for what should be a very good final term. Kevin Sheedy here asking for a big effort. BigPondSport.com. If you love your AFL, go there to find out what's happening on this weekend, round 18. So 27 years, there he is, Sheeds. Tim knows him so well. Tim Watson. Tim, corridor footy, eh?
Corridor football, but the Hawks have been really organised down back too. Here's a stoppage deep in defence. They sag off the back here. Young over to McGlynn, and then they're away. They've done that with precision all afternoon to Crawford. Then they open up the fat side. This is what Essendon need to do more of. Actually take some risks, be bold, and attack the corridor. Here's a kick coming in. Almost messes up here, but Malmalka gets back onto the ball, and then they open up the game. They actually scored a goal from this passage of play because they stayed inside and they stopped the Hawthorn defenders from sagging on. They had to be accountable to their direct opponent. That's what they need to do a lot more of in this last quarter.
3-3 for Franklin's had a lot of shots for goal. Let's go down to you, Ricky. Kevin Sheedy, he looked with hope, didn't he, at three-quarter time?
He definitely did, Bruce. He came down here early, and then as soon as the siren when he ran out straight to his players, got him in a group and said we've got the momentum, and he wants them to take risks, play through the corridor, take some risks. It's the only way to win this game. Luke Hodge, they said he got him knocked the inside of his knee, and looks like he's going to start in the centre, so he should be okay.
Thanks, Rick. 22, 25, and now 23, the margins of the stoppages today. Final term, Sunday football under cloudy skies. The Bombers sensing there's some hope. The winner back in the 8. Well, Taylor improvises, got boot to ball. Slattery got it from Lovett. Peveril hooks it down towards half forward, going across on the angle. Laycock claims it. About 80 metres from goal. Kicks it very high. Big leap McPhee. Opportunity though for the Hawks. They've got the numbers around the football. Smith went to ground. There was no free. McPhee butters up again. And the umpire has called for it. The umpires Chamberlain, Ellis and Nichols.
Would have loved to have heard what Kevin Sheedy had to say at three-quarter time, because they've come out reinvigorated. They just look like they've got energy and self-belief, which we didn't really see in the first half.
Laycock doing a terrific job. He's their main ruckman at the moment. Oh. Johnson went to ground, and Monfries lays a strong tackle.
Well, Laycock was very lucky.
He grabbed it out of the ruck, didn't he, Dennis? Yeah. And didn't dispose of it. Play gets a hand on you, and you almost get pinged every time.
Yep.
Leave those umpires alone, Dennis. Laycock and Taylor. Slapped out by Mitchell was clever. To Bateman, to Young. Doesn't concede. To Crow. Back to Young now. He's on his wrong side. He's a left footer, and he's worked it reasonably well. Bateman's a hard man to catch. Hodge, clever. He just found some time and space. He bought some, didn't he? Ricochets off McGlynn. McGlynn to Bateman, who runs so hard. And now Young is on.
With the left foot down towards half forward. Well, the umpire blew the whistle. Lewis hadn't quite controlled the foot. He goes long down towards the kickoff line. Big leap from Fletcher. Rough head. Fletcher goes on, applies a strong tackle. Michael coming through, knocked it back towards Roughhead. Involuntary action from him, knocked it out of bounds.
Well, that transfer occurred because two Essendon players didn't go at the player carrying the footy.
That's a bit of a surprise. Whistle, and the free kick is going to Welsh. He goes across the ground. Here's Wenderlich, rarely sighted this afternoon. Peveril just forward of half back. Lovett is on towards the middle. He's got it now, Lovett. Thought about going to Watson. Has the pace to get away. This could be interesting. A couple of bounces. Lovett kicks inside the 50. McPhee will go from behind. Oh, well done. In front. Crow takes the mark. 2 years ago, the All-Australian centre half back just laid it off to Young. Now Taylor's got it. Taylor short towards the middle. A goal to the Hawks.
It's opening up.
Snuff out the resistance. McGlynn, Ladson, 55 metres out, gets that goal.
And it was Lovett's kick that went in. It just dropped a little bit short. Had to make contest there. Either McPhee or Lloyd weren't able to, and Trent Crowe really stood up. And this is where the Hawks can hurt you. Tim Watson was talking about going through the corridor, and that's what they did. Beautiful finish too by Ladson. Trent Crowe's goal though.
He's kicked their last 2 goals, Ladson. One in the third and the all-important goal at the start of the final term. Big job now for Sheedy's men against Alistair Clarkson's Hawks.
Knock it out! Knock it out!
Campbell does get it out, and then McGlynn earns a free kick. He's a good little player, the Mighty Mouse. And then Hodge to Campbell, who's run hard all day, and then inside to Vandenberg. Gee, the captain would love a goal. He's got it.
Waves again. The Hawks, they just get on their bike and away they go. Really good effort here by McGlynn. Sloppy tackle there by Andrew Lovett. And then away they go. Campbell got it on. Then Vandenberg, and this will delight, I reckon, Alistair Clarkson and a lot of Hawk supporters who have been waiting for their skipper to get back.
Well, despite what Kevin Sheedy may have thought at three-quarter time, it seems momentum now is wearing gold and brown.
They've got to get out of the centre, don't they?
Yep. A couple of lovely running goals. Ladson, and then Vandenberg. Campbell decisively to Mitchell. And as David said, Essendon, no chance in the middle at the moment. Too few being asked to do too much. This is Roughhead within range.
They finish okay too, the Hawks, Bruce. Some of their matches, they've been very, very good in the last quarter.
Campbell, terrific. Roughhead, directly in front. Marvelous kick. His third.
They've only lost 3 last quarters for the year. They've drawn 1 and 1-13. The Hawks is a hell of a record.
It is to be finishing off the games like that. Good output by Roughhead. He's got his 3. Franklin's got his 3. And Dixon's got 2. So their forward line working really well together. And Boyle's come in and got 1 as well. So they're going along beautifully, the forward line.
Centre clearances for the Hawks. They kicked the first 4 goals in the opening term. They kicked the first goal of the second, the first 3 of the third, and the only 3 of the fourth so far, Hawthorn.
Makes it hard, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Let's see how they go in the centre clearance here again, because the Hawks have been dynamite.
Out to the equal biggest margin of the day, 41 points. Guerra's done well. Peveril, whose goal on three-quarter times gave the Bombers that hope and momentum, but it's been snuffed out quickly, hasn't it? Stanton to Slattery, wide to Johnson. Got to find 7 or 8 goals now, the Bombers, and they've taken 3 quarters to get 7. Laycock, beauty. He's a very interesting footballer, this bloke, I reckon.
He's a pinch hitter, Bruce. We see glimpses throughout a match, and when you think this bloke's going to take the game by storm, then you won't see him for 3 quarters.
For 10 minutes, he's Dean Cox, isn't he?
Yep. And who is he for the rest of the game?
Jason Laycock, who is emerging as a good footballer. He's a good kick, Laycock. But he's missed that. He just leant back on it a bit.
He got the kick in the nose early on. I reckon he's got a broken nose out of that as well, just having a look at the S-bend that has got. He's got a severe black eye also.
You're looking straight at me. There's Ladson.
Very similar profiles, Laycock and Cometti.
Out of the back pocket, Wera pinpoints it. The use of the ball so much better than the Bombers.
Playing good, this bloke.
Young to Birchall. That's got to be a free kick.
On the 50-metre line.
Lewis getting the free.
He's at 22 again. He's been just about everywhere.
Having a great season. Just sets it up. Laycock back in defence.
There's your boy, Bruce.
Yeah.
I really think interchanges stifle the development of some of these big guys. Not as much ground time, so it takes twice as long. There's Welsh. Drives it up towards the wing. Gillam. Kicked a goal this afternoon, his first in the AFL. Birchall, love him. Ladson through midfield. That's a clever kick. Changing the angle on the drop of the ball to boot. Vandenberg. For space. Bateman. It was a flying mark, but it was a wonderful kick.
Well, he's had a great afternoon too. He's had the 21. Love his speed too. He just works hard and didn't take his eyes off the footy then.
The kick was made for the ride though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was sort of like the drive-through combo deal. Beautiful kick, fine mark.
He's improving, this bloke. He's become such an important player in their side.
Drives from 45 metres out, and that's just about it.
Taking it to another level here in the fourth term. The Hawks been a lot cleaner. That's a nice grab. I think he's becoming one of the most valuable players in the Hawks side, Bateman. Play a number of roles. He's that link-up player too when they do take it out wide. He's so clean. He used to be ineffective with a lot of his possessions, but every one of his possessions counts now, and pretty hard to find clean players with speed like he's got.
Been terrific, Bateman. Well, a short time ago, Robert Campbell, the ruckman, might look away here. He gets the finger
dislocated.
Put back in. Wow.
Takes a special man to do that.
It's cold though. He wouldn't have felt it.
Pull your finger in.
Well, they've charged away now, the Hawks. So for the 7th consecutive time, for the first time in the Sheedy era, 100 points against the Bombers in the last 7 matches.
Do the Hawks worry about percentage now, Bruce?
Well, it can help them tonight if they can get enough of it, and it certainly doesn't do the Bombers much good, though. Their percentage is probably at the stage anyway where they need the extra win against the Sydneys and the Adelaides and all those others they might be fighting, and that half a game that 3 of them have got as well. Kicked by Lovett. Watson did well there. And a beautiful looking kick. Oh, didn't have the carry. And G. Croat's had a good day, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's just done the job. Isn't it interesting? I reckon he was the flashiest player in the competition 6 years ago. And now he just gets the job done, Crow, doesn't he?
Now he's one of the steadiest.
Yeah, he's a good footballer. Laycock just missed that one. And then Ladson has had a terrific day. Lewis. A lot of Hawks have had good days, haven't they? Here's Ladson.
Round the other side he goes. Birchall, an emerging talent. The young Tasmanian loops it to Bateman, who accelerates away from Johnson. Franklin is down there, and the ball runs free behind and goes out of bounds.
What about the combination there of Birchall onto Bateman at full tilt, just looped it up? It's been a big difference between the two sides today. Essendon have missed a lot of targets by hand, but the Hawks have linked up really well.
And probably just confirming what we knew, despite what we saw last week, that Essendon aren't quite up to it. Winderlich, Stanton, now Fletcher hurriedly onto the boot, floats one towards the wing. Get under that. Lloyd came up, was pushed in the back. He's going to get the free kick. It's against Crow.
So a couple of goals to Lloyd. He's had a tough day though. So not 15 to Stanton. And that's not a good kick. Nash just hasn't been able to find the footy, but that's not his fault. Crawford to Taylor, to Birchall. You just feel like the Hawks under the pump have got good decision makers, and you can't say that about the Bombers certainly today.
But they've got runners from behind too, Bruce, which create options when they are in trouble.
Vandenberg, Bateman. How will this go? Well, goes to Johnson. I thought Bateman might have just got his fingers to it early. Now Watson, who started so well, not a good kick. Hodge. It's all unravelling, isn't it? And then Hodge steps inside, and then from 55 metres, misses.
What about that for a kick? 55, and he only had really a three-quarter swing at it because the player was bearing down on him, and he's just about put it over the fence.
Johnson, Nash. Too tall for Fletcher, manages to keep it in, slaps it along the boundary line, getting back Vandenberg, improving with game time. Guerra, now Sewell, drives it across the ground, from behind. Young did brilliantly, he's a long kick. Young lays it off there to Crawford. Crawford steps inside the 50, bends it back, and the champ's got a goal.
Well, that's his second for the afternoon too. He's been very damaging. But really good run. Another dangerous kick coming across, and the Hawks have heard every time Essendon have either made a mistake or given the Hawks half a chance, they've really punished. Dermot Brereton likes it. Dermot's done with his hair, but it's a bit of work.
Been good, Crawford, hasn't he?
Yeah,
really good. No longer their main man, but boy, what cameos he can play these days. So it's getting ugly now.
Looks like he's enjoying his football too, Bruce.
Ugly for the Bombers, but quite beautiful if you're a Hawks fan. You would think that little slump, they're well and truly rejuvenated and out of it. Bateman has been outstanding.
Well, what they've done, they've had a training phase like the Crows, Bruce, that they went through a really hard patch. They're now coming out the end of it, so you should see in the next 3 to 4 weeks they'll have better run than they've had all year.
Got a big game here next Saturday, haven't they, against the Lions?
Oh, that is going to be a beauty.
So now the Bombers. Official crowd 55,019. Love it. Clever enough, Mark. Just hasn't had enough to do today. Hasn't been able to contribute. Welsh to Nash, who's had a quiet one.
Oops. Johnson just. Still the desperation, though, from the Hawks applying pressure. This is Slattery.
There's no space given either by the Hawks to the Bombers to get that running game going.
Back to Nash.
And that's work rate. They're willing to work for each other.
Kick down towards the 50. Coming up, awkward half volley for McPhee. Can't reel it in. And there he is. It was the win before. Look at that. One of the most lovable characters in the AFL. Everybody knows Dermot. It's amazing, having spent time with him.
He doesn't look much different to what he did back in '84 either, Dennis.
No, you go somewhere with Dermot. It's like walking in with Ayers Rock. There goes the kick from Crawford. Going back is Crowd. Forward of the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Franklin stepped around right and took the mark.
Well, Trent Crowd, take your hat off to him because his work rate off the back line, he's had direct influence on 2 or 3 goals already. But he just kept his eyes on the footy and said, get out of my way, Paddy Ryder. You will be a great player one day, but at the moment, it's my show.
Going at his 4th, had 3 to half time. 9 back in round 6.
Gee, Trent Crowd like that. He's becoming one of the most important players in this Hawthorn side. We know how good he is defensively at spoiling, but he's got it all together at the moment. His body looks good. He had a few troubles early on, but he looks like he could just tear games apart. Well, Tim Watson's very happy with Buddy Franklin too. He just likes the way he goes about his business.
So he's had a pretty good year against the Bombers, hasn't he? 9 and 4. 13 goals in the 2 matches. So Franklin with 4 today. Could have kicked 7 or 8 easily. He's a colossus, really. He's going to be one of the big stories in footy in the next decade. Guerra and his 3rd club really doing well.
Gee, haven't they turned him around?
He's rejuvenated and reinvented. Crawford being held on to a bit. Mark Johnson twists and turns and goes and gone. And then Crawford's away. Brilliant to Mitchell, who was wonderful in the first quarter. As Hawthorn through McGlynn into the pocket, slowly to Roughhead, almost cut off. Well done, Michael. Back to McGlynn. Mighty Mouse ducks and weaves and then wobbles to Ladson. When he's kicked 2, 3, you'd be getting greedy. Into the pocket. Well done. Is there a free?
Against you, Dustin. Against you. Your kick to go.
Free to Dixon for a push, I think.
No arguments either by Dustin Fletcher, so he believes that he was in the wrong.
He kicked 3 against the Bombers earlier this year, Dixon. He's kicked a couple today. Back to Young, who could go all the way from here.
Well, there it was. Have a look at this for a tackle by the old man, Crawf. Oh, he liked it. He played on too.
So Clint Young from the pocket across the face. And that's about the only thing that's gone wrong for the Hawks in this final term. They've been terrific.
Margin 59 points then. Stanton.
It was only 23 at 3/4 time, so they've really fallen in a hole here, the Bombers.
And that's been one of their real Achilles heels this afternoon, that ball coming back to the corridor.
Well, that's decision-making, Dennis, which has been poor.
Yeah. They do it very early, too. They really expose themselves up the guts. Old football term. Short one comes in from Michael under the chest of Lewis, who bounces it back over their respective heads. Then it runs away from Young. He was a little bit unlucky there.
He had Franklin on in the goal square all on his own there, Lewis. He just didn't spot him.
Lucas has only had the 7 possessions today. He's been well below his best. Paddy Ryder 5. McPhee, well, he hasn't had a lot of it either. He's had 14. So
rough head to Dixon, who snaps and kicks it behind. We were talking about Dimmitt Brereton before. That's been a marvellous number at Hawthorn, number 23. One of their most storied numbers.
So Johnson in the back pocket. Just a single behind to the Bombers. And remember at the start of this final term when they rushed the ball forward and we thought, gee, this is going to be close.
They looked on, didn't they?
Nash getting a bit of it in the last quarter. Well, mathematically, they're still involved in the finals race, but you reckon after today that they're gone.
Well, even if they do make it on today's performance, they're not going to have much of an influence.
Slattery to Welsh.
But I think the Hawks can be buoyant with this effort. That training regime, they're in the taper phase now, so they're just gearing up for the finals. It was concerning thoughts there for a while because they'd only beaten Richmond. They got beaten by the Kangaroos. They got tied down by St Kilda. They got smashed by the Crows. But this is real encouraging.
Well, Carlton and Richmond are amongst their last 3 wins. Collingwood the other, but there have been a lot of losses there. But they've answered some questions today. Birchall to Crawford. Crawford goes with a long one and finds his man. And Ladson is going to be greedy. No, he's not. The ultimate team man back to Roughhead.
Well, he could have gone to about 6 or 7 options then. The Bombers have put the cue in the rack.
He's had a good year, Roughhead. 26 goals after his 3 so far today. He kicked 5 against Carlton and 5 against Richmond.
Well, that Carlton game was his opportunity. He came back into the side. Buddy Franklin pulled out. He played full forward, kicked his 5, and he hasn't looked back.
Can he kick a 4th today to match Buddy again? No. They have missed a few, have the Hawks.
Lloyd and Lucas had 1 touch between them in the last quarter. But it's not them that you've got to rely on. You've got to rely on the midfielders to get the footy, and they've been well held.
In fairness to those 2 guys, it hasn't been down there all that much, has it?
Well, inside 50s, 15-4 this quarter in favour of Hawthorn, so they barely sniffed it.
Fletcher, the high ball, right of the hand pass. Now Lovett's away. They'll be inside 50 this time. No, they won't. He left it behind. Well, it trickles in. Is that an entry? Young's over the football. Lloyd is battling in there, and that ball is not coming out. So Hawthorn, if you look at them, Dave, possibly a key defender and maybe another 50 games experience. I talk about multiples there involving 2 or 3 players away from being a very, very good side.
I thought they were going to struggle in the ruck department, but Campbell's been able to hold that up. I thought losing Spider Everett was going to be a big dent, but gee, Campbell's grabbed it with both hands.
Monfrey smothered off the boot. Wonderful down there by Jordan Lewis. Spills across towards Johnson. Well, he's had one of those days. Just hung it out to the right, never a chance.
Just good desperation by the Hawks end too.
Good play by Michael to Lucas. Was the tackle low? No.
Well,
Campbell Brown. It was a brilliant handball to Crawford. Now it is going to be a free kick to Lucas for the low tackle. So very late call.
Tripped him up. Grabbed his leg. I'm not looking. The mark's right here.
So it slid down, brings him down.
Stay there.
I want Campbell Brown on my team. He's a beauty.
Well, Lucas kicked a remarkable goal earlier today when there was a lot more heat in the game. And that one, well, the Hawks fans will say, there you go.
Trouble is, when you get Campbell, you get his dad.
That's all right.
Happy with that?
Well, no, but no, of course we are. We love Big Mel.
There's Birchall. Keep you on your toes.
Keep you honest, wouldn't he?
To Young. Long bomb down the side on the wing. Winderlick's had a quiet day, but he's got a lot of mates who has played well for the Bombers. I mean, Watson started well, but have they had a good player? I don't think so.
Well, Hill's been okay without starring. Fletcher's been okay. Stanton's been okay. See, no, I can't. He's not an absolute standout.
I can't find a...
Probably Stanton.
So look at the Hawks run. It's tough. They've got Port Adelaide in a fortnight after Brisbane, who we talked about next week. And then the Bulldogs, who could be getting back some players by then, and then Sydney.
Is that Port one in Tasmania?
Yes.
It is.
So Port Adelaide down at Aurora, down at Launceston. Campbell Brown gets a big roar here. He's gung-ho, isn't he? Look at him. Got the eyes split. He's ready for another fight, I reckon.
He's one guy that needs a tap. Don't you reckon?
Turn him on and off.
No, not a tap.
Oh, I thought you said a tap.
A tattoo.
Oh, a tat.
It would suit him.
Or an eye patch.
Even better.
Might get one now.
I tell you what, his dad could play too. Victorians did not see the best of him. For 2 years, one of the best players I think I ever saw. Lewis, Guerra, Birchall. Oh, clever. Well, they're putting on a bit of a clinic now. The ball comes across to Franklin. That was a strong tackle by Ryder. Coming up, Fletcher. Under pressure, Welsh scrambles it out of there. That hand pass, a couple of beauties in the build-up. Not so good by Young that time, but he's had a good afternoon. A very valuable player as we take a look at the Bombers' upcoming matches.
That's a more friendly run home for the Bombers.
Well, they've got to go to Perth twice.
Yeah.
So they've got 2 very hard games, and 2 that you would think they'll start favouring against Carlton and Richmond.
But they do play well over in the West when they travel. They've had a bit of success over there.
Well, they'd love to feel like they'll be alive in round 22 when they play West Coast.
How many games of VFL did Mal Brown play? Was it about 14, Dennis?
About that, yep. So his son's well and truly done him.
He had a massive reputation though, didn't he? You would have thought that he'd played 200.
Love it, got it. Oh. Eventually, and Crow, well, it is party trick time.
He's had a day out.
Done all the hard stuff. Now putting on some tricks. Now Bateman.
Joel Smith's running on hard.
Bateman's been as good as anybody on the field. McGlynn. And that's a miss. So how deep can this team go? Can they get into the top 4 and then have an attack on the flag, the Hawks?
I think they're a little bit in front of where they thought they may have been. They were expecting to make the 8, but this high up this early on, I think they'd be pretty happy with that.
They did beat West Coast and Geelong early on in Tassie.
Peveril putting the body into Lloyd. Couldn't get through. Was he tripped?
He's slow to get up. Meantime, Weira again comes away from half-back. Mitchell, so much of the football, 13 possessions in the opening term. But he really set the tone. Thumping hand pass. Lewis kicks inside the forward 50. Hodge! Strength.
Indicating that he wants somebody in the middle. Little flick at the head. Cagey.
What about the play down back with Matthew Lloyd? It looked like it was a bit of a trip. We weren't. Here it is. Wow. Sloppy. Very, very sloppy.
He wasn't away very long, was he, Campbell Brad?
He got the patch on and back on.
That's right. And the parrot on his shoulder. And Hodge slams it into the post. That's not really his forte, kicking at goal. Not the best kick in the world.
He's better on the run,
in particular. Well, that's not a bad idea for Essendon. A couple of footies.
He's picking on heavyweight, taking on the bantamweight there.
Yeah, still his name's Gus.
So Mitchell, 29th disposal to Roughhead. Now he's a big long kick, Roughhead, and that's a big long wide kick. Gee, they've had a lot of shots, haven't they? 34 shots to 21 now. They're dominating.
Well, Roughhead's had 7 shots on goal. Probably, and
Franklin's had this, probably 8.
And really, 3 of them were pretty easy.
Michael gets it back. So this is Essendon's biggest loss for the year. Prior to this was 50 against Geelong. Hawthorn has had a bigger win, and that was that Friday night when they beat Carlton 180 to 80 by 100 points. Fletcher. So a lot of pieces to be picked up for the Bombers after today. And the Hawks can get themselves ready for Brisbane next week.
Gee, that's going to be a colossus match.
So a couple of goalless quarters for the Bombers. The first and the last. As Fletcher drives it down the line. Six to 2 points in the last quarter. Let's go down to Ricky with Chance Bateman.
Well, Chance, Essendon really threatened the 3-quarter time, but you blokes just smashed them that last quarter.
Yeah, we had a pretty light week.